Hey friends, it's Dr. Michelle Markham, and I'm going to talk to you really super fast just to kind of wrap up the adrenal stuff. So, you probably heard Dr. Johnson's video about the different parts of the adrenal gland, where different hormones come from. He didn't cover absolutely everything, but I think that was it's a really good video. Talks about some of the Premier Research Labs products. One of the reasons I like Dr. Johnson is because he really he knows his stuff, number one, but he also loves Premier Research Labs. So another thing that we need to know about the adrenal gland is that he did mention that you need vitamin B, and that it's very important, in that he uses the Max B from Premier Research Labs. One of the reasons why we need so much vitamin B and we need to supplement, and if we don't take care of the situation with the adrenals, is that a lot of us can't digest our protein, and that's part of the reason we've gotten into trouble with our adrenals anyway. So it wasn't really all the stress that was going on in our life, which, yeah, that's definitely an issue, but really what started a lot of it was the fact that we're not digesting our food. So not only were we creating a lot of internal stress in our body, a lot of oxidative stress, a lot of stress in our livers, but we were also creating a lack of vitamin B and zinc, which are two very necessary substances, vitamins, minerals, whatever, supplements that we need to have a healthy adrenal gland. So one of the things that we know with adrenal fatigue is that we really need to eat a protein-rich breakfast, or we need to make sure that we are taking a like a pre-broken down, pre-digested type protein supplement in the morning. So something like whey protein, nutritional yeast, something on that order, or protein powder that's easily digestible. Another thing that we can do is we can take a liquid vitamin B that is non-synthetic. That's very important. And like Dr. Johnson said, if most of the vitamin B out there is derived from coal tar. Coal tar. Yes, it's like the stuff that they put on roads, more or less. It's, a petroleum derivative. It's not a good thing. So we want to make sure that we're eating vitamin B that's made from yeast. So they grow yeast, and the yeast makes vitamin B. It's about the only way you can get it if you're not eating meat. Okay, so if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you definitely need to make sure that you're getting a vitamin B supplement or eating the foods that it's in. Okay, so then the next thing is the zinc. Same thing. Most of the zinc is going to come from eggs, shellfish, meat, whatever, sometimes nuts, but you need to make sure that you're getting a good zinc. And most of us are going to find that if we have adrenal fatigue, we also are zinc deficient. So when we do the zinc taste test, which I showed you guys before, you're gonna not have a taste perception at all. So you're not going to taste it, or it's going to be extremely delayed, or it's going to be very mild, usually. And every once in a while, there are a few people who are zinc deficient that they taste the zinc. But that's very few and far between. Most people are going to have no taste at all. So the next thing that's important is, supplementing with magnesium. However, if you don't have the adrenaline, you can't hold the magnesium in suspension in your blood. So making sure that you're supplementing small amounts of magnesium throughout your day, so that at least you can get a little bit in there so that you can use it. I mean, magnesium is so important. It's necessary for like 360 some odd processes in the body. If you do not have magnesium in suspension in your blood, you will not be able to do those processes. So, this is what just getting some magnesium in your body will calm down your blood pressure, it will calm down your muscle tension, and it will calm down your anxiety almost immediately, because this is just showing you that your blood was totally deficient in magnesium. As soon as you got some into your blood, you felt better instantly. That will basically the proof that you are having some major adrenal problems when that's the case. So magnesium supplementation can be really important too. The salt is very important. And I just posted an older post that I had in this group from a couple years ago from Dr. Marshall, the intestinal salt flush. So it's just like, you just drink a glass of salt water every morning to clean yourself out from, your mouth all the way through your entire GI tract. And, his opinion on this, and I have never seen otherwise, is that you should not have any raise in blood pressure. You should not have any problems with this. Even if you have high blood pressure and you're on medication, it should not be a problem for you. If you do, you've got a kidney issue, and then you just need to back off of it for a while, get on some kidney support. So if you start internally drinking pink salt for your adrenals, your digestion, or as a cleanse, you're having problems with your blood pressure, let me know right away, and we can start working on your kidney and giving you some kidney support herbs. Remember a while back too, I posted some different herbs and some recipes that I like for juicing and for an herbal tea for the kidneys. Those would be an excellent thing to do if you do have high blood pressure anyway and you have a kidney problem, is to get on that before you do the pink salt. And then that would help, get rid of any possibility of your blood pressure shooting up from the salt. It should not be a problem for you, but sometimes people have problems with metabolizing sodium. So another thing is, what am I missing here? So I talked about the protein, the zinc, the B, the salt. I feel like I'm missing something. But that's all those things are really good places to start. And then we've got like a whole slew of adaptogenic herbs we can use. Like we've got ashwaghanda, rhodiola, the mushrooms, the adaptogenic mushrooms. I mean, there's so many different adaptogenic herbs. Chaya Vanprash, Indian gooseberry. There's so many of them. Oh, vitamin C. There's another thing that's like really, really important for the adrenal glands. So don't drink orange juice. That's not going to get you any kind of good vitamin C unless you're fresh squeezing it. And, really that was sort of a myth about like that citrus fruits are so rich in vitamin C, because there's a whole lot of other foods like leafy greens and acerola cherries, and then again the gooseberries, the Indian gooseberries. So all that stuff is probably way richer in vitamin C than having citrus. If you love citrus and it's good for you and you don't have a problem with it, go ahead and do it. But don't depend on that and think that that's like the best. It's like thinking that milk is the richest source of vitamin D and calcium, because that's not true either. Again, leafy greens beat it out anytime. So you can use all those different things, and I'll put that in the text box so that you can go up and refer to that and kind of have a little checklist. Don't feel like you have to do all of it. I would start somewhere. I'd start, just start with the salt, and then maybe, see yourself moving along, and then maybe start with the vitamin B or add that to it, and then maybe see if you wanted to add some vitamin C to that and whatever. When I started my journey with adrenal fatigue, it was over 10 years ago, and I went the opposite way. I treated the symptom by using herbs. So I went through all the different herbs. I used ashwagandha, I used rhodiola, I used licorice root, which licorice root for me, if I'm starting to tank with my adrenals, it really helps fast, and it makes me feel better, and it also helps my digestion too, so it's like a double whammy. But basically, I went the other way. I was trying to treat the symptoms with all these herbs. I'd read, this herb is great, this herb is great, and I think I had a list of like 40 different herbs that I had tried. And nothing really was making it progress. It would help the symptom and help me feel a little bit better. It wasn't until I started working on my digestion, so I could digest my protein, that I was making sure I was getting plenty of vitamin B, that I was making sure that I was getting to bed before 11 o'clock at night, that I was, changing some of my eating habits, not drinking ice drinks with meals. When I started doing all that stuff, it changed really fast. And I rarely have any severe problems with just being absolutely exhausted anymore. Every once in a while, I burn the candle at both ends too much and I'll get worn down, but I think that's normal for anybody. I don't really think that's adrenal fatigue anymore. I really think my adrenals have gotten a ton better, and I guess, I could go get blood work, but I'm not interested in. I'm more interested in the anecdotal evidence that I just feel a ton better now. So I hope that covers like the question that I think it was Angie asked earlier today about, what should she recommend to her friend that's suffering from adrenal issues? you know, what are the key points. I think that pretty much covers it, and if you have more questions, go ahead and ask. I want to talk tomorrow about adaptogenic herbs and give you a breakdown of all the different ones and what they, you know, help with. So I'll try to do that tomorrow. If not tomorrow, we'll do that on Wednesday. And then I also want to talk a little bit about some more of the kidney meridian stuff so that we can move on to the next thing, because in September I really want to start talking about the lung and the large intestine, because that is that element is the metal element, and it starts in the fall, so it's perfect timing. So thanks guys, and have a great night, and I hope that gave you some good information about the adrenals and how to heal them. Bye.